A very good evening and a warm welcome to this Wednesday night's edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shimwefeleni Masipa. As always, if it's your first time joining us, please subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to click on the notifications bell to stay up to date with the latest happenings locally and globally. We commence the bulletin with the National Assembly, where Minister of Justice Yvonne Dalsab proposed that first-time rape convictions be increased from the current minimum 5 years to 10 years imprisonment in order to combat rape and send out a strong message to society.
Further amendments, Honourable Speaker, to Section 3 relate to the revision of minimum sentences for second or subsequent convictions under the aforementioned circumstances from 10 to 20 years, 20 to 25 years, and 25 to 30 years. The Combating of Rape Amendment Bill clarifies that the minimum penalties which may be imposed under Section 3 of the Combating of Rape Act of 2000 apply equally to rape under the common law, as well as attempt, conspiracy, and incitement to commit rape. In our view, and in light of the aggravating cases of rape across the country, these are appropriate penalties to demonstrate that the state takes the offence of rape seriously, but also is resolved to deter offenders from committing this offence.
The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture has announced that the placement of Grade 12 Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Advanced Subsidiary candidates will take place from the 21st to the 25th of February.
The ministry's executive director, Sana Steenkamp, in a media statement on Tuesday said that candidates will be placed in schools that offer their area of subject specialization, which in most cases will be the schools where they set for their grade 11 examination. The executive director said if learners have not received confirmation of their placement from their schools, they should contact the respective region offices to receive the correct information about their placement by the end of this week. Steenkamp explained that because advanced subsidiary is a demanding course, they encourage students to make the most of the opportunity through hard work and determination, adding that they also encourage parents and teachers to put in extra effort to make up for lost time. A total of 8,817 grade 11 learners who sat for the 2021 ordinary level national examinations have qualified to proceed to grade 12. She further added that learners will begin on the 28th of February 2022 and hostel boarding learners should report to the school hostels on the 27th of February 2022.
Moving on to global geopolitics, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres vowed on Tuesday that the world body will never give up on finding a peaceful solution to the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Xinhua gives us an in-depth report.
Guterres told reporters at the UN headquarters in New York that the agency must rally and meet this challenge together for peace and to save the people of Ukraine and beyond from the scourge of war, adding that it is high time to return to the path of dialogue and negotiations. He noted that he is fully committed to all efforts to resolve this crisis without further bloodshed. The UN chief further stressed that he is deeply troubled by the latest developments regarding Ukraine, including reports of increased ceasefire violations across the contact line and the real risk of further escalation on the ground.
Staying on this developing global story, United States President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced the first portion of sanctions against Russia after Moscow deployed troops in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions. Let's get more details from Xinhua.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday signed two decrees recognizing the Lugansk People's Republic and the Donetsk People's Republic as independent and sovereign states, and later ordered troops to enter the regions to conduct peacekeeping operations. Lugansk and Donetsk declared independence following a vote during the height of armed conflict with Kiev in 2014. Ukraine refused to recognize their self-proclaimed status. Calling Russia's move the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine, Biden said in remarks delivered from the White House that his administration will impose sanctions on two Russian financial institutions, the VEB and the country's military bank, as well as on Russia's sovereign debt and three individuals. He explained that the measure means they have cut off Russia's government from Western financing, adding that it can no longer raise money from the West and cannot trade in its new debt on our markets or European markets either.
Your top roundup is up next. In the business and economic segment, we begin locally. The Althaver and List Group and Belgium-based CMB Tech have launched Clear Energy Namibia, the country's first green hydrogen production plant.
The plant, which will serve as a demonstration hub for hydrogen applications, will be built in the Oranga region, with the construction set to begin in 2022 and completion expected by the end of 2023. Swen Timme, the executive chairperson of ONL Group, at a press conference here Tuesday said that Namibia is a growing hub when it comes to the generation of renewable energy, whether that may be through solar, wind or hydroelectric power. He said this makes the country optimally positioned to explore the generation of green hydrogen or hydrogen generated using renewable energy, adding that Namibia in particular has the capacity to generate solar power. He noted that it is with these encouraging prospects that they have established and now officially launched Cleanergy Namibia, a company designed to explore green hydrogen through the country's first hydrogen demonstration plant, an $18 million investment set to be completed and operational in 2023.
Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gravagab on Tuesday noted that the country is making the expected exit from subdued growth and adverse impacts of COVID-19 towards restoring growth.
Gravagab said it's critical that Namibia generates policy interventions to make the economy more resilient to shocks, restore fiscal sustainability, and improve standards of living of its people. Speaking at a workshop on mapping Namibia's post-COVID-19 recovery, the governor said urgent attention had to be given to creating policy certainty, ensuring professional service delivery, and diligent execution of policy as well as addressing accountability issues. The central bank governor noted that there is need to demonstrate in a most practical way government efforts to move towards privatization, outsourcing and liquidation of non-performing SOEs that continue to be a drag on the budget. He added that there is need for structural reforms to enable growth, including leveraging their assets as well as developing self-sustaining economies in municipalities, town and village councils. The governor said the potential to overcome supply-side constraints, improve productivity, and create jobs can be unlocked through private sector activities. According to Gravagab, other areas that Namibia should focus on include promoting and attracting foreign direct investment through incentives in exchange for jobs and export earnings, as well as reforming, strengthening, and optimizing SOEs, especially commercial ones.
With the business news, we've come to the end of the top news segment for tonight. Stay tuned for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast.
A warm welcome to All Things Sport on Sport Planet with me, Michael Madimba. Football dominates the segment. The Brave Gladiators crashed out of the 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations following a 1-0 draw against Zambia on Tuesday at the Dobsonville Stadium in Soweto, South Africa. Marco Ndlovu, our sports journalist, compiled this report.
In a game of two halves, Namibia dominated the first half before Zambia came back strongly in the second half, with both teams needing a win to qualify for the finals. Namibia deservingly took the lead in the 13th minute through captain Emma Naris, who knotted in a corner from Zenata Coleman. Namibia matched Zambia stride for stride, creating many chances which they failed to capitalize on, taking a 1-0 lead into halftime. The second half was a different ball game for the Gladiators as Zambia came out guns blazing, laying siege at the Namibian goal. The Gladiators could not prevent substitute Siamala Mapepa from scoring the equalizer in the 70th minute from the far post. Following the 1-1 draw, Zambia qualifies for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament scheduled for Morocco in October.
Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes says the club needs to have more identity under interim manager Ralf Rangnick as they prepare for their first Champions League knockout tie in 3 years. United face Atletico Madrid in the last 16 later tonight, with both teams enduring disappointing seasons heading into the first leg at the Wanda Metropolitano. Let's get more from AFP.
Midfielder Fernandes pointed to Sunday's 4-2 win at bitter rivals Leeds as proof that the reports of dressing room unrest under Rangnick were misplaced. Tonight's match takes United goalkeeper David De Gea to former club Atletico. At the other end of the pitch, Fernandes was glad the Red Devils could call on Cristiano Ronaldo's smell for goal at the Wanda Metropolitano. Veteran striker Edinson Cavani will be absent for the fourth straight game with a groin injury.
Stay tuned for your sports roundup. With the Sport Planet segment, we've come to the end of tonight's edition of Primetime News. Many thanks for joining us. Another parting reminder that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and internationally. Do feel free to add your comments as well in the comment section. Before we sign out, we would like to inform our esteemed viewers that Primetime News will take a 3-day hiatus but will resume with a bang on the 1st of March. With that, we've come to the end of tonight and the week's bulletin. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, have a pleasant remainder of what the week has in store. Good night.